I have created the perfect team in Football Manager 26 to see how long they can go without losing a match. So here is the perfect team. I have made Burnley the perfect team, so they will be playing in the Prem. And the perfect team is made up of 26 perfect players. For all of these players, I have maxed out all of their attributes. I have given them a perfect model citizen personality. I've made them both-footed, and I've made them as tall as they could possibly be. And looking at the different attributes here, you can see that this has been done for every single player on the team. So every player has 20s for all of their physical attributes. They have 20s for all of their mental attributes. And looking at their technical attributes as well, they all have 20s for their technical attributes. I forgot to change the heading on a couple goalkeepers, but that doesn't influence their current ability, so I'll leave that as is. And you can see here for the goalkeeping attributes, every player has perfect goalkeeping attributes, and I have given a 1 for eccentricity for all the goalkeepers. Since that is considered a negative attribute, we want that to be as low as possible. And I've also gone in and made Scott Parker using the pre-game editor as perfect as I could possibly make him, so he's very good, elite, or outstanding in at least all of the important coaching categories. So we have the perfect team, we have the perfect manager. Let's see how long it will take for them to lose a match. Now I will note we are looking to see how long the perfect team can go without losing. However, I can't guarantee that all of these players will remain on the perfect team. Normally, you can keep a player at a club essentially indefinitely by using the in-game editor. What you would do is you would schedule a future transfer for the player, because that would prevent other teams from being able to make a bid for them. And then you would just keep extending that future transfer further and further out in the future, and that would keep all of the players at the club. However, I am not able to do that in FM26 because the in-game editor keeps crashing, and I will show you all what that looks like now. So unfortunately, with this experiment, I can't keep all of the players at the club. To try and mitigate that, though, I have given them contracts that go until 2050. So they have contracts going up until 25 years in the future. And I have made the perfect team, which I don't know where you'd be able to see it on here, but I have given them the highest reputation possible in order to dissuade them from wanting to leave the club. So the hope is that the perfect players will stay on the perfect team, and we will see how long they can go undefeated for. But all right, let's move 1 year into the future, and let's see if they won every game. All right, we have moved 1 year into the future. We are now into 2026, and it looks like the perfect team did win the Prem, but did they do it by being undefeated? We shall move into their fixture schedule, which this has to be a bug in the game. I cannot see their fixture schedule. So what we are going to do then is let's go to the Premier League, and we will go to stages, and we will go to last season, and the perfect team won the league but lost 4 matches. How did the perfect team lose 4 matches? That can't be right. How did they lose? Whenever I've done these experiments in the past, they've always gone and they've gone 5-10 years undefeated. All right, let's look at the players. We do have 20 players now. There's still so many of the perfect players. They have a perfect starting lineup. It does look like they've lost a few players, but it doesn't make sense. All right, what's going on here? Let's click on the perfect goalkeeper. And their attributes have changed. It was all 20s before. Now it's a bunch of 16s. Did this happen for every player? So perfect player 1 here. They look terrible. How have we gone from 20s to 14s? I froze their attributes. You guys can see here, I clicked on freeze attributes. Did this happen for every player? If we go to attributes physical, they're all 14. How did this the in-game editor just doesn't work. It didn't freeze the attributes. Technical, they're all 14. It doesn't work. What are we doing here, people? Oh, and how are the goalkeeping attributes still all 20? But for the goalkeepers, it must be that it took away the current ability. All of the current ability attributes have dropped. Well, we're going to need to figure out something else now. All right, I've got one more idea up my sleeve, and since this experiment clearly isn't going to work, using an FM26 database. I do have a perfect team database from FM24. And actually, I think it might have even been FM23 when I originally made it. So ignore the 7-1 2022 here. But let's look up the perfect team, and we are going to use an old database. So rather than Burnley, at the time I had made the perfect team Bournemouth. And once again, we have 26 players who all have perfect attributes. So you guys can see here, perfect technicals for all the outfield players. If we go to the goalkeeping here, you guys can see that all of the goalkeepers have perfect attributes. If we go to our physical attributes here, you can see 20s for everyone. And if we go to our mental attributes here, you can see 20s for everyone. So once again, this is the perfect team. And again, for all of these players, if we look here, I did freeze the attributes. And the nice thing is, because I did this in a previous version of Football Manager, for at least the first 5 seasons, they all have future transfers arranged. So at very least, we're going to be able to keep the perfect team together for 5 seasons. And as a side note, at the time, I made half the team English and I made half the team Filipino. So we'll see. Maybe they'll go up against each other in the World Cup final. And as a side, I did give them a perfect coaching staff. So as you guys can see here with the perfect manager, he is elite in absolutely every single category. That goes for all of the coaches here as well. So this is the perfect team with the perfect staff, with the perfect players. Let's try this again. Let's simulate. I'm going to move 5 years into the future since we do have that 5-year future transfer. So at least we'll be able to keep them until then. After that, I'll cancel the future transfer and we'll just see how long the perfect team can go after that. But we are back in 2022. I'm going to move forward to 2027. Let's see how the perfect team does. Can they go 5 years without losing? All right, we are 5 years into the future. So let's see. Did the perfect team go undefeated? Forgot, I can't look at their fixture schedule. So we will go back. Let's go to the Prem. And did they lose a match in the Prem in the last 5 seasons? So 2022, 38 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. 38 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. 38 wins, 0 draws. We are still going. We are still going. And in the current season, they've gone 5 seasons in the Prem without losing or even drawing a match. And these are 114 points, 147 goals. What a season. The thing is, though, when I made this, I was thinking competitive matches. So have they won 5 straight Carabao Cups? Or sorry, 5 straight FA Cups to start? They have. So that means they did not lose a match there. We'll see if they won all of the Carabao Cups. They could potentially lose in like a semifinal, but I'm going to assume they didn't, given that they've won every single one. And have they won 4 straight Champions Leagues? This was Bournemouth, so they were not in the Champions League in the first season. So we're looking to see if they've won 4 straight Champions Leagues, and they have. So we are going to assume at this point that they have not lost a match in 5 seasons. I think it's hilarious, too, that we have had 4 straight perfect players winning the Ballon d'Or as well, or World Football of the Year. Do we have the Ballon d'Or? Same for the Ballon d'Or. Who is perfect player 7 that is doing so well? What do their stats look like? And if we go to career stats here, yeah, they're pretty. 8.99 average rating. 18 Player of the Match awards. That's insane. All right, well, now things get a little bit more interesting. I am going to extend the contract for all of our perfect players here. That way they remain at the perfect team. And I am going to cancel their future transfer, but I can't guarantee they're going to stay at the club now because they could move to another club. But given how good the perfect team is, hopefully they will stay. And eventually, they could end up retiring as well. We have a whole host of perfect players around the age of 26, 27 now. So we will see if they remain at the club. They do have their attributes frozen, so they won't get any worse than they already are. They will remain perfect for the rest of their career. But let's jump another 5 years into the future, and let's see how the perfect team looks then. Will all these players still be here? And if they are all still here, will they still be an undefeated team? All right, we are 5 seasons into the future again. in a total of 10 seasons since we started this. And let's see what the perfect team looks like. Do they still have a majority of the perfect players? So if we sort by player name here, we are significantly down on the number of perfect players. There is definitely a chance here. Man, so many of the perfect players have left. I wonder where they've all gone to. All right, seeing all the results for perfect players, PSG, Barcelona, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Man City. Still most of them on the perfect team, but they're definitely at sort of random places at the big clubs around the world. There is a chance now, looking at this, that the perfect team might have lost a match. I will say, though, the perfect team's brought in some good players. Antonio Silva, Donnarumma, Malik Thiaw, Michael Elise, Nuno Mendes, Paul Vonner. He was really good in FM24. So they brought in some good players. But all right, we will start off in the Premier League. So last time out, we were at 2026, 27, 27, 28. They did draw 3 times, but they had not lost a match. So we are still going in the league. 28, 29, 2 draws, 0 losses. 1 draw, 0 losses. 1 draw, 0 losses. And they lost in 2032. Our very first loss. Oh, it's over. After 10 seasons, the perfect team lost a league match. Oh, and we won't even know who they lost to because I can't look at their fixtures. There's got to be a way to do this. All right, if I just go Prem here and we go last season, can I just keep going back to see? This is going to take forever, but I'm determined to see when the perfect team lost their first match. So far, they've won all of them. But let's just keep moving backwards. This would be so much easier if just the fixtures panel worked and I was able to see all their fixtures. But they still haven't lost. We're back into March here. I did find one of the perfect team's draws here. It was 1-1 to Newcastle away. All right, I've been through the entire season and I could not find when the perfect team lost their match, but it's somewhere in there and they did lose at some point in the league. So it took 10 seasons. They went 9 seasons undefeated. And at some point during the 10th season, which I could not find here, but at some point during the 10th season, they did end up losing. But did they actually lose earlier in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, or the Champions League? I am curious to see. So in the FA Cup, they did lose. Oh, they lost last season. So in season 9, they lost in the FA Cup because Spurs have won it. So they must have lost once there. So they actually only made it 9 seasons. If we look at the Carabao Cup, they are the past winners for the last 5 seasons, so they won every match in the Carabao Cup. In the Champions League, looking at the past winners, they've won all the Champions Leagues. So as for right now, the only thing we can confirm is that the perfect team lost 2 matches over the course of 10 seasons. One of them was in the FA Cup, and the other was this past season in the league. I would be so curious to see how the perfect team would have done if we were able to keep all the perfect players here. Obviously, we weren't able to do that, but the fact that maybe half the perfect players are still here and they still went on that crazy undefeated run. 2 losses over the course of 10 seasons, and it took 9 seasons to lose a match. That's incredible. And given that they were probably playing 50 matches per season, that's 450 to 500 matches that they went undefeated for. Let's see, we got club background here, we got honors, club history records. Let's see, most points in a season. Do we have a longest undefeated run? That'd probably be sequences. Most matches won in a row, 307, and they went 514 matches without losing. That is absolutely incredible. They went from 2022 to April 6th, 2030, 514 matches. In universe, they were kids born who never saw the perfect team lose a match until April 6th, 2030. All right, the last thing I'm curious about is because half of the players were English and half of the players were Filipino. How did they do? And we can see here both England and the Philippines have won the World Cup. Well, in universe, the 2022 World Cup was won by England, but I can't see the stages to the World Cup. So we cannot look at those matches, and we also won't be able to do that for the Philippines, unfortunately, because I can't change the current season, I guess, since the World Cup is not currently happening. But looking at the past winners here, I actually didn't realize this. England won in 2022, but the Philippines have won the last two World Cups. That is so fun. And there it is, 12 perfect players carrying the Philippines to two World Cups. Again, I really wish I could see their fixture schedule, but I can't. So we can see the last 5 matches here, and we can see they've been absolutely brilliant against Asian opposition. We can look at the nation's history here. Maybe we don't have history records or anything like that apparently, but we do have a world ranking of 4th for the Philippines and a 2-time World Cup champion. So that is, all things said, pretty cool and probably a testament to the perfect play. I'd be surprised if they lost a match. So maybe we can include those matches as well for the perfect players. While not the ideal Football Manager 26 experiment here, we were slightly limited in what we could see in the game and how the in-game editor works. But the perfect team went 514 matches and 8 to 9 seasons without losing a match. So how long can the perfect team go without losing? The answer, 514 matches. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all enjoyed this Football Manager 26 experiment. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you are taking care of yourselves, and I will see you all next time. Bye.